What's up, Key Issues? Garrick here, and welcome to today's video. And I am fresh from Endgame and so hyped to discuss this topic with you guys today. We've been waiting for Endgame to really get into making power level videos for the Avengers, and it's finally time. We've already pumped out some Marvel Cinematic Universe videos that you may be interested, like how powerful is Ego and how powerful is Odin. But now we can finally discuss the power levels of the Avengers to find out who is, once and for all, the strongest Avenger. Obviously, this video contains massive spoilers for Avengers Endgame, so if you have not seen the film and care about spoilers, go ahead and leave now. I'm not kidding, this is your last warning. Everything after this sentence is a straight up fireball of a spoiler, so don't say that you weren't warned. During this video, we will be discussing both official Avengers such as Thor and Iron Man, as well as unofficial members such as Ant-Man and Doctor Strange. Although at this point, I would just consider everyone an Avenger, considering that during the final battle of the film, Captain America uttered his famous catchphrase, "Avengers Assemble." And we do have a lot of viable options here: Thor, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, Ant-Man, and even Captain America. And let's start with someone I think we can all agree probably isn't in the conversation for top 3, but definitely had a massive power amp in this film: Ant-Man. Or maybe it's time to finally start referring to him as Giant Man. After all, almost all of his significant strength feats take place when he is a giant. Previously, Ant-Man was pretty strong. He defeated Yellow Jacket, who had a more advanced suit than he did. He defeated Falcon, and during Civil War, he could take on Team Iron Man almost by himself. He briefly knocked out Spider-Man with a backhand during that fight. He ripped apart jets, and he used trucks as his personal skateboard during the events of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Not bad, but certainly not in the discussion of strongest Avenger until now. During the final battle against Thanos and his army, Giant Man casually destroys a Leviathan with a single punch, which at one point was the most impressive Hulk feat in the MCU, and Giant Man even appeared to do this with more ease than the Hulk. Also, Giant Man giant stomped Cull Obsidian, a character that was fighting 3v1 against Bleeding Edge Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Wong, and was handling them pretty easily despite, losing his arm. Also, keep in mind that Cull had fought evenly with Hulkbuster version 2 and was easily able to rip it to shreds. So big props to my man Scott Lang, who cemented himself as one of the top tiers in the Avengers. Up next, let's discuss the Hulk. Oh, Hulk. Unfortunately, he appeared to be weaker in this film in terms of strength as compared to previous iterations. We know from a statement from the Russo brothers that Hulk is equal to base Thanos in terms of strength, but Thanos was never physically harmed by equipping the gauntlet at its full strength. He tanked that like a champ, and he even took a direct blast from Thor's lightning immediately afterward during Infinity War. But Hulk just couldn't handle it. Hulk even had the advantage of the energy emitting from the stones being gamma radiation, and it still clearly hurt him quite a bit. And we have another video upcoming that will discuss some theories around why we think this happened, but as it stands, Hulk can't really be considered the most powerful Avenger. Another character who was amped in this film but probably doesn't reach the peak of the Avengers' power is Iron Man. With his newest suit, he was able to take more punishment than he ever had before, and dealt out death like I deal out L's in our debate channel. Of course, with the gauntlet, Iron Man's power is amped to insane levels, but the amount of damage he takes as a result obviously limits his overall effectiveness. Being able to make Thanos bleed is no small feat, and his new suit makes him even more powerful, but there are just stronger Avengers that we need to discuss. Alright, so now it's time to get into the real heavy hitters. I would consider the following characters all in the running for the most powerful Avenger, but I won't give my final judgment until the end of the video. Let's begin with everyone's favorite bearded beast, Thor. So unfortunately, like the Hulk, Thor actually got weaker between Infinity War and Endgame. Dual-wielding Mjolnir and Stormbreaker would easily make him the strongest if he was in his prime, but he's definitely not. He's overweight, out of shape, and to be honest, he was probably a little buzzed while fighting in the final battle. So let's ignore Fat Thor and discuss Infinity War Thor. Let's begin by taking a look at the Infinity Stones. The Collector, who is the most knowledgeable character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe on the capabilities of the Infinity Stones, states that the Infinity Stones can only be wielded by beings of extraordinary strength, and that the stones are able to destroy entire civilizations. Additionally, S.H.I.E.L.D. believes the Space Stone has the potential energy to wipe out the planet, and Thor states that the Mind Stone could unleash more devastation than what Scarlet Witch saw in her vision of Ultron. Which in layman's terms means that each one of them could probably destroy a planet, or at least these 3 specific stones. We've seen the Power Stone annihilate a planet and crumble a moon, but Thor has also stated that Thanos destroyed Xandar with the power of the Power Stone alone. So there's no debate that anyone wielding the Power Stone has planetary destructive capabilities. The other stones might be debatable if you don't want to go off of just statements, but we know that the majority of the stones are able to create massive energy blasts. So, with all of that said, Thor is able to blitz Thanos and cut through an attack from all 6 Infinity Stones with his Stormbreaker. The Russos have stated that Thanos didn't know Stormbreaker was coming his way, and if he did, he would have been able to use the stones in a better way to react to Stormbreaker. So, in my opinion, this blast from Thanos at a low ball is planetary, which would make Thor's striking power with Stormbreaker planetary, which is pretty damn impressive. The next top tier we need to discuss is Captain Marvel herself, and you need to put those torches and pitchforks away because the girl was barely even in Endgame. You have nothing to complain about. She was awesome. And the first thing we need to consider is Carol's power came indirectly from the Tesseract in the form of the Lightspeed engine, which was designed to allow the Skrull race to get as far away from the Kree as possible. This was achieved by wielding the space manipulation of the Space Stone and using that to harness photons. A photon is a type of elementary particle which has 0 rest mass and always moves at the speed of light within a vacuum. Using the power of photons, the Lightspeed engine would allow the Skrulls to travel faster than anything thought possible, capable of traversing multiple galaxies in almost no time. Carol is able to wield this energy to create photon blasts and fly at incredible speeds, making her the fastest character in the MCU in terms of travel speed by millions and millions of times over. Now keep in mind, this does not factor into combat speed, which is completely different. So her enhanced strength and durability comes from the Kree blood flowing through her veins, and it seems to be further amped by the Lightspeed engine energy, as she has tanked multiple blasts from Thanos' command ship, which was just destroying all the other Avengers below her, and she also took a headbutt from Thanos, which ragdolled characters like Iron Man. Carol didn't even flinch after taking this headbutt. The only thing that really harmed her was a punch from Thanos, amped to possibly planetary levels by the Power Stone. In terms of strength and attack potency, she was able to trade blows with Thanos throughout the final battle, and she completely demolished his ship, the Sanctuary 2, with no trouble at all. Now let's talk about the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, who had one of the best showings out of all the characters who took on Thanos in a 1v1. Thanos was pressed hard and had to use every single Infinity Stone that he had at the time to keep up with Doctor Strange, who wasn't even using the Time Stone in this battle. So this was a suppressed version of Strange, who was essentially just going through the motions to ensure that the future that he saw came to fruition. He knew that he had to lose to Thanos, and he knew Iron Man would as well. Taking that into consideration, and the fact that he was facing inarguably one of the strongest versions of Thanos that we've seen, Doctor Strange is just not to be messed with. The versatility at his disposal, along with the natural talent he has with the mystic arts, allowed him to defeat Caecilius, Loki, and Dormammu, the most powerful being in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Strange clearly deserves to be in the conversation. Next, we have one of the real surprises of Endgame, Scarlet Witch. We've always known that she was powerful, but her confidence was her true weakness. In her early showings, she was able to tear through Ultron's chest with her magic, but other times struggled, like when attempting to contain a blast during the opening scene of Civil War. After gaining more confidence throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, she began to really show her strength as she was able to completely dominate Vision, she was able to destroy an Infinity Stone, and of course she held back Thanos briefly while destroying that Infinity Stone. It was generally accepted by the power scaling and versus battle community that Thanos was definitely holding back heavily in Wakanda, as there was no way he could lose, and that's pretty obvious. I never thought that he was going all out to get through Wanda's blast, but he did have to exert some force. But in Endgame, she shows just how powerful she truly is. She was not only able to keep up with Thanos in hand-to-hand combat, but she was able to completely overwhelm him with her pure power, causing him to rain down fire from his command ship to get free. There's no doubt in my mind that if she wasn't knocked back by these blasts, that she definitely would have torn Thanos apart. And the final Avenger in consideration is the man himself, Steve Rogers, the Captain, the Nomad, the wielder of America's ass, Captain America. Finally worthy of Mjolnir, which we will have a video on as well, detailing the moment that he became worthy, but back to his power.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
That's the enchantment given to Mjolnir by Odin himself, and what this means is very simple. Because Captain America was worthy, he instantly received a stat boost to his speed, durability, and of course, his strength, making him on par with pre-awakening Thor, but at the same time, better in every way. Cap seems to have an instant mastery with Mjolnir, using it in unison with his shield to hit Thanos with devastating combos. This is likely due to the fact that Cap is the most skilled fighter in the MCU besides possibly Thanos himself. Being so masterful in combat, this significant stat boost instantly makes him much more deadly than pre-awakened Thor. But not only was he able to expertly wield Mjolnir and the shield in tandem, he was also able to call down lightning as easily as awakened Thor. Thanos was so impressed with Cap that he brought down his army out of what I felt was fear for his life. So much respect for our boy from Brooklyn. So now that we've laid out all the possibilities and looked at all the evidence, who is the most powerful Avenger? In my opinion, it's the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange. Considering how he was able to contend with a 4-stone Thanos while not even using his own Infinity Stone is incredible. Without the Infinity Stones that Thanos had, Doctor Strange would have easily beaten the Mad Titan. Without the Power Stone and Space Stone, Thanos had no counter to the Mirror Dimension. Without the Power Stone and Soul Stone, he had no counter to Doctor Strange's duplication spell and the Eldritch Whip. And without the Reality and Space Stones, he would have been unable to close the distance between himself and the Sorcerer Supreme. Doctor Strange has all of these spells and more available to him in his base form, while being relative to every other Avenger on the list in terms of speed. His vast arsenal of spells would allow him to defeat any single one of them pretty easily. I mean, Thor might be able to counter the Mirror Dimension with Stormbreaker, but he could not overcome any portals or the duplication spell. Captain Marvel may be able to maneuver out of the way of any portals and try to speed blitz Doctor Strange, but what could she do against the Mirror Dimension, Time Stone, or Crimson Bands of Sidorak? Wanda has the raw power rivaling the top tier Avengers, but her utter lack of durability would make her an easy target for offensive spells. Overall, Doctor Strange just has too many tricks up his sleeves to be taken down by any single Avenger, so Doctor Strange, in my opinion, is the most powerful Avenger of them all. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below who you think is the most powerful Avenger. I think I got it pretty right. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and join our Discord. I'd be more than happy to debate you on this and upload our debate on our other channel, which you can check out on the side. Be sure to like and subscribe. It does really help us out. Also, follow us on all these social medias. Like I said, join our Discord, and if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. It's definitely the best way to do it. Also, be sure to check out the Key Issues podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. With that being said, remember the motto, it is Endgame over everything, and I'll see you guys next time.